Hey everybody, welcome back to All the Things Sort of Truth, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sort of Truth series with an urn full of craft beer on the side. I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate.
And this week we're going to be getting into Chapter 32 of Wizard's First Rule. Before we get into it, I wanted to mention that our friend Sean Bachman has been sharing on all the Terry Goodkind groups that he finally got done with the map.
Yeah, if you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, you definitely should. It's on the official Terry Goodkind Sort of Truth Facebook page. I think he actually put an image up of it.
Yeah, and apparently he's been working with some other people to verify and make this as accurate as he possibly can.
Yeah, it sounds like they went through book by book, and every time there was a specific city or a landmark mentioned somewhere, they added it into the map as accurately as they could, and then they went through and they designed the part that they added to match the original map from the first book. So it's all uniform. It looks very nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass. I was lucky enough to get a hold of Sean because we had actually spoken right when we started this podcast, and I told him I had a bunch of questions. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to him a little bit more about that, because I'm super interested in the whole process of how they laid out the map. I think that's fucking awesome. Good job on you and your whole team. Good job, everybody. It's fucking awesome.
Heck yeah. So I just wanted to mention that. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. And yeah, now we can move along into this chapter. This chapter is a lot of a chapter.
It's the perfect chapter for me with my ADD because it kind of goes back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, it flip-flops a little bit. But it's not necessarily, happy.
No.
It's a little rough, that's all I mean. Giller hatches a plan with Rachel, and Richard and Kaylin kind of get into their first official fight, I think.
They get their first couples fight.
Aww.
They're non-couple, but it's a couples fight.
Yeah.
They have that standoff moment and nobody backs down. It gets pretty intense.
So the chapter starts and Rachel runs into Giller. She tells him that she's just running errands for Violet, and he makes a comment that it brings no fortune to pull this tale of a sleeping badger. And I just thought that was interesting because for our other podcast, we were just learning about badgers and how they can be some fierce motherfuckers.
Badgers are nasty sons of bitches. I would not recommend fuck with one. And Giller knows that. So good on you, Giller.
Yeah, you don't normally hear them talked about. I thought that was interesting. Basically, he meant, though, don't cause a problem. If Violet isn't pissed at her, don't fucking say anything.
Right. And much like a badger, typically they don't fuck with you if you don't fuck with it first. So leave well enough alone and you'll be fine.
Right. He asks her about the Trouble Doll, how that's been going, and Rachel's super excited to tell him it's going great. And the doll is the one that told her not to approach Giller and talk to him if somebody else is around, unless Giller says it's okay.
Right. They don't want to be seen consorting.
I do have to make a comment because over the weekend we went away with Aaron to the other side of the state and we were talking about the chapters. And he made a comment about how he didn't look at Giller in a very nice way.
Right.
After everything that's happened with Dark and Rawl and Dem and Nas, he got a real creepy vibe from Giller.
Yeah, he got a real predator vibe off of Giller.
And it kind of makes sense, especially when I'm talking about this man being like, don't tell anybody we talk. This is all super secret.
Yeah. Any other time, that would be a pretty big red flag. Now, like we've also discussed, we don't think Giller is up to anything nefarious, really. But, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little touchy-feely with her. I mean, he could just be trying to get on her good side.
Yeah, I will speak to that. He is a little grab her by the hips, set her on her lap. Don't maneuver the child.
Yeah.
Just leave her be.
Yeah, exactly. Don't maneuver.
That's all.
Don't manhandle the child.
Yeah.
Keep your man hands to yourself. Thank you.
Unless you're family, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Just don't. But
again, not saying he's doing anything wrong.
no.
I digress.
But she tells him that she's been talking to this trouble doll for a while. It's been making her feel better. She named it Sarah. A very wholesome name, I guess.
I wonder if she got that name from somewhere.
It makes me think of Sarah Plain and Tall, but I bet you she didn't read that book.
I also have not read that book, so...
It's like standard elementary school reading.
Probably not. So...
Christian schools, I tell you. So, Sarah told Rachel her troubles, and Rachel promised that she would help Giller, because apparently that's the only trouble that it all has. She's like, oh, I don't have troubles, but help the creepy old man who's been talking to you.
I remember from our last episode, you're like, that wasn't the answer to any question that I've asked. But eventually, Sarah wore Rachel down. She's like, fine, I'll help Giller. Okay.
If that's the key to all this, all right.
Which I'm actually sure she's happy to do, but it was just funny.
Well, yeah, because Giller seems to be fine. He's like a wizard. He has nice clothes. He's not locked in a sleeping box every night.
Yeah, Giller should help me. What are you talking about? Help Giller.
Fuck Giller. He could literally do... He's a wizard. He's a goddamn wizard. So, apparently he wants to run away, though. That's the thing that she needs to help him with. So she's asking him when he's going to be ready to go, and Giller's like, I just gotta get some shit ready first, okay? And that's when Queen Melina shows the fuck up.
Yeah, Rachel has a really bad habit of being snuck up on by people when she's in the middle of shit. Last time, she was moving the box and then Giller walked in on her. Thank her lucky stars that Giller is not being a piece of shit and like turning her in. And now he's on her side. So this time she's doing some shit she's not supposed to be doing by talking to the wizard. And the fucking queen shows up. Giller is thinking on his feet and he hides her.
Yeah.
He basically just stands in front of her, which is weird.
He shoves her against the wall and then stands in front of her.
Which, okay, he has to look guilty, right?
Yeah.
He's really good at controlling his face, because if you just shove something up against the wall and literally holding it behind your back, the most guilty stance you could possibly have, it's going to give you away for sure.
Especially if they saw Queen Melina, because she definitely saw them. And at the very least, his robes are all like swishing around him. You know what I mean?
Right.
In that very like...
It wouldn't look natural.
Yeah.
But Rachel can't tell. All she can hear is that fucking little dog.
Barking away. And Melina being a bitch. I mean, like, why are you looking around? And he is such a fucking smartass to her.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my fucking job. You don't want me to fucking check it out? Okay, I won't.
I think it might have a little bit to do with he's kind of her advisor. So she gives him credit for being smart, but he's smart enough to also present things in a way that this was your idea. Yeah, I'm lurking around and I'm being weird, but if you don't want me to lurk around and be weird, and somebody is hiding here on the ground somewhere and decides to kill you, then I won't find them. But don't hold it against me when I'm not going to stand anywhere fucking near you because I haven't checked for people trying to kill you. So I'll be over there.
Right.
She doesn't want that.
No.
So she's like, oh, yeah, as you were. Cool. Good. I'm glad that I thought of that.
Right. And I mean, I'm sure that every time he does it, she makes the realization that she really is dumber than him and she needs him on her side.
Yeah, but she won't admit that.
No.
So she's like, that's
right.
Yes.
That's right.
I did say that, didn't I?
And this whole time the dog is like growling and getting more and more aggressive around his feet, trying to sniff out Rachel. The dog's name is Precious, by the way.
Yeah, Precious. I thought that was great. I mean, it's a callback to Samuel. Not Sam, but
Yeah.
Schmeagol.
Yeah.
Smeagol?
Golem.
We'll call him that. But also a little dog named Precious.
Are you talking about Buffalo Bill's dog?
Yeah, absolutely. Silence of the Lambs. Precious. I mean, it was perfect. Every time she said that dog's name, because she said it rapid fire. What's that, Precious? Oh, Precious.
Yeah.
All I could think of was Buffalo Bill. Just petting his dog. Like, what is it? And Oh, it was good. I had a good little chuckle.
Private little moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Melina, like you said, keeps asking her what the fuck she's doing, and
Right, the lotion is supposed to go in the basket.
and Giller, he keeps coming up with excuses for why she would be barking around his feet.
And this dog has a history of like biting her and being a little shit. So that's where my head was at. Like, it's going to see her, bark, bite her. She's going to freak out, push Giller out of the way, and then everybody's fucked.
Yeah, then big problems.
But twice in a row, Giller is thinking, and he sprinkles this magic dust.
Why does everybody have pixie dust? Where did it come from?
Thank you for calling it pixie dust, because I thought of Peter Pan when this happened. I was like, oh, he's got just a little bit of dust. And the dog sneezes and floats away, and it's not a problem anymore. But the dog does start sneezing. And when Melina picks the dog up, she starts sneezing.
Yeah, because you know that she got all up, like, making out with the dog.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah. She liked to kiss his nose, which you kiss nose adjacent. You don't kiss the actual dark, wet part. That's not, I don't know.
No, I usually don't.
I'll let him lick me. That's not a problem, but I'm not going to kiss the actual wet nose part.
Yeah, well, and you don't, like, you don't kiss their tongue, usually.
Right. No, yeah, no.
But, like, people with little dogs will, like, open mouth even sometimes.
That's... Ugh. No.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I know they do it. I'm just not an advocate of doing that.
It gets weird with little dogs, man.
It's just not open-mouthed. Just... Most people shouldn't even really do that, if we're real.
But at that point, Melina basically is done with this conversation. Giller had an answer for everything that she threw at him. She basically was like, you know what, I'm just on edge because Rawl is coming. It's going to be a big fucking deal, so Sorry about that. He's got the queen apologizing to him. Good job.
Giller won Queen Zip.
Right.
Can't fuck him up. He's unfuckable. Or wait. I'm sorry.
Except, by the way, Rawl's coming early. Oh, by the way, it's tomorrow? So,
yeah.
Hope you're ready. Bye!
That was kind of a weird, like, okay, maybe he is important there. I think we can all assume that. So maybe he did need to be filled in about this. But I thought that was kind of a randomly placed, by the way, he's going to be here tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It was almost like she was trying to spring it on him, kind of.
Yeah.
She's weirdly suspicious while not being suspicious of him at all.
I think she's kind of suspicious of everybody, but she's, I don't want to say dumb, but like she's willfully ignorant.
Naive.
Yeah. Yeah, because everybody's going to tell her yes. So as long as they make face to her, she doesn't really have to dig too deep.
Right.
Much like the cook with the drink of enlightenment. He's like,
yeah.
Oh, I knew I wasn't going to get it past you. Yeah, I made it stronger, but then, see, you called it, and all of these people now pretty much have to agree with what you say, because if they don't, they're full of shit. But you knew that anyway. And so she's like, oh, yeah, well, okay, and let it go. And just like this with Giller, she pokes a little bit. He's got a solid answer, gives her a compliment. Okay, whatever. You have kissed my ass enough. I will move on now.
And now, I just gotta say, as far as the drink of enlightenment goes, if you were Queen and Melina, you wouldn't let him make it less strong now, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, once you've taken it to the max,
you gotta keep it at the max.
You gotta keep it at the max.
So, no matter what, eventually, if Rawl is drinking it, when he comes, they're gonna be found out.
Yeah, well, you would imagine he would spit it out and be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Or at least at this point, I would be starting to freak out if I was the cooks. If she called down to the kitchen and was like, hey, Rawl's gonna be here, I would be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, maybe you could just say, I made it extra strong because we had a bunch of people in the castle or something like that. But yeah, Rawl would know. Yeah. Especially if he specifically sent the ingredients for it, he would know.
Yeah. So, after Melina leaves, Giller springs into action. He's like, Rachel, do you know where Violet put the jewel room key? And he picks her up.